What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna keep the momentum going on the Jeep build and just dive right back into it and check the next thing off the list. So now that I've confirmed it will run and drive down the road, kinda, good enough to keep working on it, we're gonna go ahead and get the suspension situation figured out. So if you don't know, you can go back and watch the video, but it was lifted and looked really cool on the 15 by 14 BART wheels that I got for it. It came on these, but it had a 4-inch lift block under the front leaf spring, and it was sketchy. I mean, it was weird. It was bad. It wasn't safe. There was 2 pieces of steel welded together. It just wasn't a lift kit. So I pulled that off, ended up pulling the entire front axle out because the rear axle I had to swap from a different Jeep. So I had to do some different gearing in the front and basically got the whole closed knuckle Dana 44 completely rebuilt. I painted it. It's all solid, it's all good except for the gasket already gave out. I just put fluid in it like an hour ago and it's like all out of it. So that's great. We gotta deal with that still. But basically the front end, all new steering, all stuff like that. I'll try to see if I can show you here. Tie rod ends, all that has been redone. The axle looks brand new, but we were left with this. The camera's not even gonna show it that good, but this thing is about 5 inches lower in the front now, which makes sense because it still has new lift blocks in the rear because they were like falling apart, aluminum too. So the rear is lifted like 3 inches and the front has nothing. So what I'm getting at is today we're gonna go ahead and pull these leaf springs off of this thing and actually take them to a spring shop. I've already talked to a little bit. I met these guys working on the 72 Dodge. Actually, I had to get U-bolts for it. Met these guys, they've been around forever. And he basically told me that he can make me a lift kit. He can lift this thing for me. If you guys are familiar with these Gladiators, these first generation 60s Gladiators, the springs are mounted on the side of the frame and not under them. So a common thing to do is get J20, which are the 70s, 80s ones, axles and leaf springs, and put them under these things because they go underneath and it lifts them. But there's only one company that actually makes a lift kit for one of these, Hell Creek Suspension, and it's like a $3,000 lift kit. I called them and asked, just the front springs are like $1,000, $800 to $1,000, I don't remember, it was a while ago. And I'm trying to avoid spending that. So he says between add-a-leafs and re-arching them, whatever, we can figure out how to lift this thing back to how it was, a lot safer. And I told him I was cool with running like a 1-inch lift block in the front. Like that's fine, 1 inch is as much as I want, just a steel block. That's not a big deal. It's when you get up to 4 inches, like you're gonna hit a bump and it's just gonna fold the axle over. So that we're not doing. So just gonna pop the wheels off, get this thing up on jack stands. Hopefully it's not, there's like a total of 6 bolts on each side and I should be able to pull these leaf springs off, get them in my car and drop them off to him tomorrow. And then he will call me with a price and a plan and we'll figure it out. And hopefully by this weekend, we're gonna get this thing at least looking right again because those wheels do not fit on the front anymore. And it would be a lot more motivating if this thing was sitting here taller than ever, because I'd like him to go more than 4 inches. The biggest the Hell Creek suspension lift is 4 inches. So if he can get like me 5 or 6, that'd be sweet. So yeah, gonna do that, and then hopefully we can get it sitting on the springs and the BART wheels, or I'm just gonna put all 4 of those on. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we gotta get this handled because the wheels are pointed at each other because I didn't align everything in the front when I redid it all, and there's no point in doing that with a truck that's gonna have the springs altered anyways and mess everything up. So I'm gonna stop rambling, I'm gonna get this thing on jack stands and just start ripping this thing apart because it's late already and I'm tired and I'm talking fast. So here we go. Just for a quick example of what we're going for you guys. I don't think it's high enough, but I haven't seen these on here in a long time. So let's just look at it. we're gonna go with that because ideally we don't have them stick out that far, but well, let me lift it up there. It is too late for this, boys. I am tired and I should be at home, but no, we're doing this. Still not high enough. Okay, ideally we want that plus like, I don't know, 3 inches. I want this thing big. It's just hard to make them big. Look at these beauties though. Let me just take a moment. I bought these 3 years ago. They don't make Barts anymore. They're Bart Super Truckers with pitbull rockers. Like, what better tire setup than these? It looks wicked. All right, so basically it looks like we just have one bolt there, one bolt here, one nut. So hopefully those come off. I should probably spray them with something. And then we have the 4 bolts on the nuts on the U-bolts, 2 U-bolts. And I'll support the axle right now, and hopefully we can just take these right out. I don't think I've ever actually removed leaf springs. So yeah, I guess I'll start loosening up everything. I'll put jack stands under this, and I'll do that first, and then we'll start seeing if we can get these out easy. All right, the U-bolts are completely off. Nuts are off each end. This one's gonna take some persuasion to get the bolt out, and once the bolt drops out, I should be able to slide the whole spring out that easy. Hopefully you guys can kind of see. That thing is pretty seized in there. Whew, we got it with my biggest hammer. Might have to cut the we might have to cut the first couple threads off that bolt. It's a mushroom. Yep, that has probably been in there since 1966. That's crazy to think about. And the threads are fine. Cool. I want to get you guys in here a little better so you can see what's happening. Just gonna tap this straight down, and then that one should just slide right off. I think we need new bushings while we're at it. As to be expected. I might have to drop the axle down. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side apart, and then we'll lower the axle a tiny bit. All right, so we got it out of the shackle. I don't know if that's gonna agree with me and slide straight out now, but it should. It'd be cooler if it did. Okay. Brake lines. All right, after probably 2 hours, we got one side out because everything came out easy except for this back here. As you can see, double pickle forks is never, well, triple is never a good thing. So we got one side, just had to pull the other. I'm sure it'll be just as hard. It'll take 5 minutes to do everything, and this will take a couple hours. But we got one out. Bushings are toast now because of the torch. All right, guys, we are back, and it's time to go ahead and get the Jeep re-lifted. After a few trips back and forth with the spring shop, these are totally redone. One of my springs was actually broken or cracked, so it had to be replaced, so that was taken care of. And then what we did is, this is the factory leaf pack out of the truck. This is the one that had to have this spring replaced. You can see that one's brand new. But they went ahead and they took the whole pack apart, re-arched them, and then we added an add-a-leaf down here, and then a 1-inch solid steel block with the pin all the way through the actual leaf pack. So it's actually, this block is actually bolted with the leaf pack. Before you say it, don't run lift blocks in the front. Well, all the research I did basically said a 1-inch is basically the maximum you want to run, and it's solid steel and it's bolted through the leaf pack, so it physically cannot go anywhere. It's bolted to the leaves, whatever you want to say, leaves. So that's the safest way possible, and I wanted to get the lift the only way to get the lift I wanted out of the truck and out of these leaf springs. So with re-arching them and adding the one, he told me we should be between like 2.5 inches, but he said you never know, it could be more, it could be less. And then we have an inch block that's a for sure inch, so we should be around 3.5. Maybe we can get 4 out of it, I don't know. I did go ahead and I did the other side where you guys can't see, just so I can make sure, because we had some bushing problems. I had to take them on and off, but now these bushings are hard to find apparently, and very expensive. So we have new bushings on each end, and yeah, they're all basically a rebuilt leaf pack, if that's even a thing. But yeah, like I said, other side, I already went ahead and knocked that out. So this is the side I'm gonna record, but judging from that side, the Jeep looks like it's gonna be massive. I mean, it looks like we got 6 inches or more of lift out of these things. It looks huge. We'll see. I'm dying to see what it looks like. So yeah, I'll stop talking and let's go ahead and get this thrown in the truck and get the wheels on it, the pit bulls back on it, and see how this thing sits. Before we do, I did have to undo the brake hose over on that side, because even though these were long, I thought they'd be plenty long, it was like guitar string tight over there. So I'm gonna put the wheels on so we can look or see how the truck looks with the lift and the wheels back on it. But I will have to pull them back off and readdress the brake line situation and all that. But let's get this part done at least. Real quick before I put them in the truck, I'll give you a close-up. Literally a solid piece of steel for the block. There's our one new spring, and then the one we had to replace because of the crack, and the new bushings, which this bushing is huge. That's the one that goes on the little, that part, the little stub. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna get them thrown in. I'm so pumped to see how this thing looks. I haven't seen it on those wheels on all 4 corners in a long time. Ow! I honestly cannot believe how heavy these are. Whew. Wow. Get that started. A little bit of that. All right. Now that that's started on there, I have to get the jack stand up from the axle and lower it way down, because these springs are they're big. Let's drop that down and make the brake line a guitar string. Way down. That's pretty guitar stringy. All right. Not as tight as the other side was. The big hammer has been my friend today. right, I learned this on the other side after smacking it with a hammer for a long time and it not moving. Put the old bolt in, try to bend this back to where it's happy. And the old bushing. Pull this out of there. All right. I gotta get a jack stand under it. Kinda good enough, maybe. That is gonna rip that brake line off, holy cow. Whatever. Well, I eventually gave in and did it on the other side, so in an effort to save these brake lines, if they're long enough, I'm gonna go ahead and undo them up there. Now these need re-bled. All right, with the brake hose off, I can go ahead, after I get this out of there, and drop this way down. I think I need to bend that over more. Bolt through the hole. There it goes. Maybe more. Should do it. Ouch. Back up. Get the jack stand under it. Back down. All right, now that the springs are mounted there and there in the shackle, I'm gonna go ahead and put the jack right under the pumpkin there, lift it up, line up the pin in the block, and throw the U-bolts back on. Thank you, that's good. All right, we'll throw that on top. I'll probably eventually switch the U-bolts out to the style that are U and then do a new plate on top. But these are brand new U-bolts. They're just not the style that they suggest, at least the one lift kit brand, and these are just kind of weird. So I'll probably eventually switch them out, but for right now, these will do just fine. Because the plate is a little crusty. I mean, it's okay, but I'd like to change it out. All right, both sides are in. New grade 8 bolt up here in the hanger. New U-bolts. I'm gonna leave the brake line disconnected for right now because it's right on the edge of being too short. So I really don't know yet if I want, I mean, it's close, but I don't want to rip it. That would be dangerous, especially with these brakes. So it's time. Let's go ahead and throw the wheels on this thing and see how it sits. I'm like so excited. That's barely high enough. Uh-oh, why is that turn? The alignment's way off now. That's gonna be silly. But that's okay. I'll do 3 lug nuts on this side. I only have 5, so we're gonna do 3 over here and 2 on the other side because I'm gonna pull the wheel right back off anyways to finish up the brakes. We just simply have to see how it looks. That hurts my ears every time. Because let's see what this level says. About 1 inch from level. It's a little bit higher in the back, but it looks perfect. It looks really good from the eye. Well guys, there you have it. I'm gonna end the video there because I don't think you guys wanna see the random, I just gotta do little odds and ends basically, which is stuff that'll take me a while. Like the brake hoses actually I think might be long enough. I'll have to kind of check more. I'm exhausted and this is the point of this video, so I'm gonna cut it there. But brake hoses I think might reach, I'll look into that later. The front differential gasket, cover gasket is completely blown, so I need to change that gasket. I need to fill the closed knuckles with grease still. Those I did not put anything in, I forgot about that. I think the rear pinion seal came around. I don't think I'm gonna change that because it's not dripping anymore. And yeah, I guess eventually I need to figure out a shock situation for it. I don't know, I'll just have to measure and kind of get shocks from some vehicle. I really don't know. But yeah, other than that, what do you guys think? It's sitting back, I mean, it's sitting how it was before. So clearly we got about 4 inches of lift out of the springs. From the tire to the fender up front, I'm at 7.5, and in the rear, I'm at 8. So the front is about 1/2 inch lower, which honestly, it's kind of perfect. It's sitting like a truck should. And I don't know the plan, maybe with weight in the bed later on. I mean, the fuel cell's in the bed, and that's empty basically right now. So it's basically perfectly level. As long as these tires clear, which I think, I mean, there's plenty of room in there. They're only 33s. They're just really wide, and old trucks, this thing came with like 8-inch wide tires, I think, back in the day, maybe 6. They were skinny. So they're not built to have these big meats on them. If I need to, if I want it a little more level, or like I told you guys before, I kind of wanted the front a little bit higher because I'm kind of going for like the pre-runner stance. I like things like a ½ inch higher in the front or an inch higher. I just like how they look. But this looks really good how it is. It's an old truck. It doesn't need to be leaning back like that. But yeah, I absolutely love these wheels on any vehicle. On here, they fit it so perfectly. I hope you guys agree with me. If it were Super Swampers, it'd be a little better, more period correct, but pit bulls are awesome, and they came on the wheels. The Barts just fit this truck. The chrome with the chrome mirrors, I haven't seen, well, I put these mirrors on when these wheels weren't on, so like everything's just flowing so good. Yeah, I'm just really excited we're moving forward this much. So now I can kind of align the truck, get the steering all tightened back up, get shocks figured out, and I'll be honest, I don't know what's next. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all that small stuff dialed in, and then we'll probably try to take it down the road with with matching tires on it, and not cracked leaf springs, and I'll try to align it and actually get the wheels to both point straight. This one's pointed straight that you're looking at. The other one over there is like pointed 2 inches towards me, so that has to be dealt with. But other than that, at least it looks right again. And we already confirmed it drove, so I'd like to drive it on 4 matching wheels. Basically, guys, I don't know what's next. This is like a huge, just the fact that this thing will run and drive is just crazy. So I didn't even expect to get this far. Now the springs are done and it's lifted the correct way. I don't know, I'm just excited. So I'm not gonna draw it out anymore. Let me know what you think, comment below. Does it look awesome? Are you obsessed with it? Is the stance perfect? I think yes to all those things, but let me know what your opinion is. What do I need to do to it? There's a long list, I know, so actually don't even tell me that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. A lot of videos still to come on this and all the other trucks we got on the channel. And if you want to see more of the previous things, if this is your first time seeing this truck, there's a lot of videos from years ago on this truck. So go back to my channel if you want. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.